Hello, good evening. I'm Earl Gibbs, and welcome to Speaking of Everything. And on the program this evening, for the first time, is none other than Member of Parliament, Mr. Silvio Matza. How are you doing, sir?
Good evening, Oral. It's a pleasure being here for the first time on the
Right.
network or on any program. So for me, it's a first and always a great pleasure to sit with someone like you who's like an icon to St. Martin out there. And over the years, I've all watched your program and happy to be here that you invited me. And I'm with pleasure come to sit with you. And you're the first person to ever get to interview me. So I'm very happy to be here.
And thank you for accepting the invitation.
A pleasure.
Now, I got to ask you, what made you get involved in politics? Because this is your first time that you ran and the
Yes.
first time you got elected.
Yes, I did. What got me involved in politics is from 1997,
Ah,
I used to help a lot William Allen when he was commissioner then. I used to be the one behind a lot with him getting his projects off the ground. I was behind numerous of projects, and I was behind like the Clem Labega Square, all the road paving program. Later, I also was one of the creators of the Simpson Bay Sport Facility, and also partly with the boardwalk, and it kept going on and on. So I was very close with the politicians, and also during the campaign, I used to be out there really pushing for them a lot, and whoever I used to back. And I used to back the National Alliance for over 17 years.
uh-huh,
So I was really, a lot of people known me for behind the scenes. I was never up front.
uh-huh.
But as the years passed by, many people approached me and said, "But listen, you know, you have a good vision and certain things for the country. Why don't you run?" And I told them, yeah, but to just go on a list, you just don't do that. It has consequences also for your personal life. It's
Right.
also a consequence for your family, whatever. And I sat down, think hard about it, and I said, you know what? Sometime in life when you reach a certain age, you have to give back to your country. And I decided, let me run.
So, do you play any instrument?
No, no.
The reason I
My
ask that
because of my
right.
dad. Yeah, my dad played nearly every instrument existed,
Uh-huh.
but I don't play no instrument. That's the only thing I never get to learn from him was instrument.
Okay. Now, the thing is that you're in politics, and you're now an independent member of
Yes, I
parliament
am.
because you was first a member of
Of
the,
the up.
the Up Party,
Yes.
and a lot of people for weeks and months were waiting for a change, and
It
every
never
time
came.
you will hear that the person they're waiting on is MP Matza and two other names, and then it finally happened.
Yep. Um, the thing about this, which I can tell you honest, I was amazed that even during that period of time,
Uh,
that my name was mentioned so much time that MP Matza is leaving the party. I never didn't ever had a discussion with anyone.
uh,
It's just because of the fact of the past, how certain people in my maneuverability that things changed. They figured that I was one of the ones will leave, and because of the fact that in the whole coalition setting, I was totally alienated. That's the fact. And that was one of the main reasons why I left. Out there, they're portraying that I leave for personal reasons, but I have no personal gains on leaving because at the end of the day, I was in a government also. Uh, the sad part about it, Oral, is this. Can you imagine you was the third highest vote getter on a party? In October, when we went in the government, the idea was we were going to collectively choose the ministers, collectively do everything together. I went in for medical reason and did a surgery. When I came back, I asked them, was everyone collectively appointed? Because I said, go ahead, you have my, everyone I want. No, it was only done a one-sided way. So I accepted it. I said, if this your guidance of where you want to go as leader, you got my full support. Uh, the ministers start to work. They out of the blue, we got other independent members start to come on board and come on
uh,
board and come on board. And it was told that, as we say in St. Martin terms, internally we are being checkmate, that we cannot move. And I was like, but why would you do that? While your coalition team and your team self from the party is strong together. Had they had other reasons, most probably, scared of their own shadow maybe. And at the end of the day, other people came in, other people was given ministers. I didn't even know, or know when new minister is going to come in or what their name was or whatever. And I told people, people may think that, oh, this can be whatever. I even had in a situation where that when that flight from TUI came in, and the minister was then there from Tiat, and he introduced himself to me, and I introduced, and I asked Madame Labega then in the airport, I said, who's the gentleman? She said, but that's the minister of Tiat. I said, and people will think that I was lying, that I didn't know who the person was. And I really didn't know. So here it is, at the end of the day, things were being happening, things was being going on in the country, and you couldn't even say anything when people ask you a question about where the country is going. And that is sad part. So you was part of something that you wasn't part of. And when I start to hear the things really was going on, that upsetted me. And I said, I did not came on board for this. I made a promise, even up in St. Peter's, I told people, if the party and them is not going according to the guidelines, what we said we was going to do to for the people, I will step out. Even if I have to step out by myself, I was planning to step out. By chance now, others decide they're stepping out too. And that's how we end up, three of us left. But I will have stepped out because I could not be part of something that you can't sell to people and telling them that whatever it is we was planning to do during the campaign, we were not doing. We said we're going to look out for the youth. We said we're going to look out for jobs. We said you're gonna see with the a portray of the youth, and we did the opposite. You couldn't nothing portray. People was like, what happened? The same people again. There's no new type of people. We don't have no new St. Martiners out there. What have creativity of things? No, nothing like that was portrayed. So then I decided no. From my side, I really leaving. And it didn't have nothing to do with nothing personal against the leader, whatever, against whoever might think that I had personal against it. No, nothing whatsoever. It had to do pure the party guidelines that we decided this is where we're going, and we went on a total different track than that overall.
So are you satisfied now with the government you're supporting?
Overwhelmingly, I'll be honest, overwhelmingly. In a simple situation, I'll tell you, we meet at least twice a week. We discuss of how we're trying to get the country going in the future. We discuss all different aspects, all different ministries. It's not like there's a ministry out there belongs to the National Alliance, or there's a ministry belongs to the Democratic Party, or the ministry belongs to independent member Silvio or Maurice Lake. We all discuss all the ministries together. We come up with our ideas, what we think it should be. The ministers includes us, ask us what is our vision of what we think the people that was looking for us while we were campaigning. And we comes up now with different ideas how we think to go forward with the country.
Wow, that's a complete different approach.
A whole different approach, our whole different approach.
So at least everyone is aware of what's
Everyone
happening.
is aware of what's going on.
And how is it now with your legal problems? Because you had some legal issues.
Yes, I did have. I had legal problems. I still have legal problems. My case is a very, very strange, touchy case. Right now we're in hoger beroep, as they call it in Dutch, and where we are now finally, from our side, we have been able to call on witnesses and everything, because my case is a tax case. And it's a very strange tax case because it's a tax case. It's a tax case. Everyone has the same tax case like me, but because of the fact that my company was a bigger company and the figures was big, they turned it into a criminal case.
Oh, okay.
So if the amount was less, like any other smaller individual, it will be a settlement, whatever. There are more motives behind this than is. I rather not say it because we are still in the case, but it's sad to know that when a young St. Martiner start to rise up and start to get bigger in the business world, how you be trampled from every angle that you have no clue. And especially when you're outspoken. Now, I will tell you one thing with me, which everybody know there. I'm a very controversial human being. I will, and sometimes you remind me of me. You just say it as it is. And people might not like you for it, but at least they know where they stand with you.
Yeah.
So I say things to people and they don't like it, and this is a consequence. This can happen in a life where you can't control, where you're not in control of everything. And then, as you said, the big cannons turn against you and you just have to face it, and I will just have to face it.
Now, there was a meeting of Parliament today.
Yep.
And I understand that opposition was not in support of the person that your government was trying.
That's true. honestly speaking, I did not speak today because out of sadness. This lady was, for the position, she was recommended because of the fact how hard she works. And she's already doing the position. So we decide, why should we go abroad looking for someone and the person is right there doing the position? They also did schooling and everything.
And this position
To,
is to be,
and this the position, the second griffier.
yeah.
And the person is already doing the work good oral. And why in the world are we one more time again going outside of St. Martin looking for someone while the person is right next to us? And that meeting had to last 5 minutes. It started to become a whole fanfare of how the procedure should go and what it should have done, whatever. I felt sad because the lady is a hard-working lady. And at the end of this, she's one of us, and I stand behind that she will get the job.
And she has a legal background.
And she have a legal background. She's doing everything, whatever they are to do already.
Why is it, MP Matsu, so difficult for native, local St. Martin people to get a job? Because it seems like the government is always against them.
And this is a story I'm hearing more and more. Since that I am really in the midst, it's a story I'm hearing more and more, Oral, and I don't know where it came about and how it came about, but really, instead of we encourage our own, we are out there trying to destroy our own. And sorry to say, there's a hypocrisy in front of all their faces. People are always saying, yeah, I want you to get a job, no problem, everything will be okay. And behind your back, all at once, no, let's do so, let me do this, let me do that. A simple case by the ministry from Mrs. Arundel, minister showed me a situation where 7 locals qualified for the job and they was going to bring somebody from abroad. And she put on it, she said, no, I'm not going to do that. You choose one of the 7. How are we going to be able to do these type of things while our people are hurting in their own country? All I do believe in life is this. If you're going to progress your country, the people of that country need to progress. If the people of the country can't progress, then don't bring progress. Then leave everybody enjoy the life as they have it. Because when you bring progress, progress brings more cost. Cost of living goes up.
Right.
And if your people ain't part of the process going up, they're going to get a short end of the stick and they're going to starve in their own country, which we've seen a lot of countries develop already, where you got countries have great resources, and what they do, they give it to outsiders, and the people of the country live on the poverty. So I do think that one of my biggest thing and in this coalition is we're looking our best to push St. Martin forward.
When you look at St. Martin and the development of our people, you know, and it's quite strange because this is a very rich island.
Very rich island.
And still we have so many of our young people abroad that don't want to come back to this rich island.
A lot of them don't want to come back based on the fact that the level of salary that they can make outside is way lower here, because when they come, they get an offer that can't survive them in St. Martin, because St. Martin is quite an expensive island to live.
But how come other people come from Europe and abroad and they can survive here?
Because if you look at some, even in government, if you look at the scales that some people that comes in government, they get compared to your locals that come back, it's sad. It is sad. There is a discrimination in salary scales.
So the government is practicing discrimination then?
It seems so, because it's sad when you see that you have people capable for certain positions and they bring people from abroad and put them there, and the people, when they sit there, they think about also helping their compatriots from abroad. And that's what our people gets pushed in corners. In for example, a lot of civil servants, now that I'm finally knowing about the whole industry of the civil servants, they does complain by me and explain me certain things, and it's sad to see. I even see that there's some locals, really professionals, and they even can't get their permanent job. They have them as temps, and when their time is up, the ones who they bring from Holland is the ones permanent there, and now people are temps, and then they say, okay, we'll send you home for a while and bring back. It should not be.
I mean, the government is doing this?
That's what I've seen since I go, man, it's sad. It's sad, and our locals are crying. That's the truth.
So then people will say, well, what can the members of parliament do to stop this practice?
I think members of parliament have to have more envision in what's going on into the second level of government, which is the minister in government itself. Parliament and government itself has been like pulled away
Separate.
from each other,
Right.
so far separate. It's like, oh, parliamentarians are not allowed because that's why you put ministers there for. But at the end of the day, you're the one going on that list. You're the one telling the people
Right.
what we are hoping to see. But all at once, you can't find out what's going on in there. And then you're the one have to pass laws. You're the one being questioned about integrity and all this thing. So Parliament should get all moving. And that's why this coalition, what we do, we have this meetings at least twice a week to synchronize with each other exactly what's going on, that we understand what's going on. When we have a problem, we discuss it and we see how we can solve it. And that's the good part about it. And the farmer situation, when I never had no situation like this, not whatsoever.
In fact, also when I hear about the problem with the police force and immigration, that's quite unfortunate too.
Yep. And that will be solved also.
Okay.
That will be solved. The justice minister got swearing in today,
Right.
so the whole ministry is complete. So now everybody don't have no overburden with too much ministries on their shoulders. So
Right.
now we can balance off and really look into that. Also, one of my big things, what happened during last year, September, is also that when I heard that down to the civil servants was not going to get their vacation allowance, that thing really made me mad. I said, but listen, if you're going to cut costs on certain spending on certain things, but don't touch in a bad economical time while everybody's building back up, trying to catch themselves. You're going to take away a little vacation from them, and that's why today we are working that happens still, you know?
Yeah. How you feel about tourism? You know, that's our main part of the economy. How you feel about it? How you see us come out of this industry in the next 4 or 5 years? Because we have, I think it's right next door.
Everyone is
doing.
tourism has become, let's say, compared to the 80s, 90s, and we get now, a lot of islands has noticed that tourism is the way to go to make a better income. A lot of them used to be more in agriculture and those things. To make agriculture start to go down because of these bigger countries start to export more and more, they start to notice the best import is tourism.
Right.
So then, like St. Kitts, all them start to come out of the ground. You remember in the 80s, Aruba wasn't no big tourism industry. They were more with the Shell, with the Lago and those things. And when they got the refinery closed, they would decide, let's go towards tourism, which they make a big tourist market today. The government put a lot of guarantees on hotels there. That's why they have all the big name brands. We have never guaranteed a hotel here as government. I do think, well, one of the things people might not like that I say, I think Mullet Bay is still a big key to this economy in St. Martin. There is numerous people that I spoke to that will be willing to put a 500-room hotel on Mullet Bay. But Mullet Bay will still like that because the owner of Mullet Bay is quite an age now. And when you look, if he makes an investment and you check by the time he'll get the first return of investment, he might be over 100 years old.
Yeah.
So he won't see it. So I think Mullet Bay will stay like that until when his children decide, or maybe his children will be too old then by the time that. But I do think we should look into how we can get Mullet Bay going because, well, you and I know, I was way younger then, Mullet Bay used to have 1,200 jobs.
Oh yeah.
So that's talking about times a husband and a wife plus 2 kids minimum. You're looking at 4,000 people in St. Martin was being fed by a area like Mullet Bay. And we have never replaced Mullet Bay yet to whether the Westin came or condominiums came. It never was replaced. Today, if you get a Mullet Bay going, you'll get a big name brand like maybe Four Seasons or maybe the Ritz-Carlton will come with ease. But we need the property going. I have some things in store that I am working on, and hopefully I'm trying to fast track them to get them off the ground. But you have to go according to procedures, everything, and so, which will boost the tourist industry. I'm looking at the mega yachts, which is the huge yachts like Abramovich yachts and so, that cannot get into St. Bart's, but want also an area of their own. So I have a master plan that I discussed with the harbor that we're coming up with. If we get that put together, that will boost the whole economy a lot additional again.
I noticed some mega yachts already using the facilities at
Yes,
Portsmouth.
exactly. So, well, you can imagine, it is a simple thing, and that's why I travel a lot and I learn a lot of the industry. You have so many rich people are looking for their little niche. Now, for example, Sinbad has become a competitiveness a bit between Arabs and Russians. And the Russians there have their big shows in New Year's and everything and so. And certain Arabs like from Abu Dhabi and all these places saying, I want my little piece of the action too, but they can't get in.
Yeah.
So here it is, we have an industry that they must land here, they must take their yachts here to get over there. It's impossible that we can hold them. Every private jet and every yacht ever touched in Bath had to go through St. Martin.
Exactly.
How is it possible that we can't touch them? You know what I have to do with all of it? If you're not focused in the right direction, how else you gonna be able to grab them? So you have to concentrate on touching these people, holding them, creating an industry for them so that we have a runoff effect in the island.
Quite interesting to see how the government that you support only have, what, 6, 8, 7 months
That's to
remaining?
go.
Yeah.
To go.
And it's almost impossible to get all the things done in that short period of time.
I always say like this, you'll be surprised when good minds come together with a common goal, what you can get achieved if you put your mind to it and you really work hard towards it. We are working very hard. We would not be able to achieve everything in this coming months, but we will achieve certain things.
Okay.
And the most important thing is try our best to get the young people off the blocks and everything to get them work going. That's one of our main goals we're working on. How can we get things going? Another thing too, we're going to get that government building open. Prime Minister's working hard on it to get the government building open so we can move across, so we can really see things moving in the country, you know?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing like, for example, this year, you know this famous pencil case,
Oh,
you know?
okay.
You know, the famous pencil case, as Theo says, education is the key for a living well.
So you got one of those?
Well, Fran's little son got it.
Oh, okay.
And that thing bothered me. Not to bother me in a bad way that he gave them out. Not like that, because bottom line, you feel like giving them, that's his prerogative to give. But the essence of it, if you're going to give out a pencil case for more than, I think, what, for 17 years, he's giving them out now. I think about the child who's 4 or 5 years old, get this first pencil case, and thinking to himself, education is about living well. So he is thinking, I got to push my education, I got to go well, I got to keep going. So I ended up, he reached 18, he votes for the person who gave him that pencil case.
Right.
And he tells me, okay, you give me the pencil case and give me a good directive. Now I'm giving you the vote to secure at the end of the day that when I come back, I have a job. And well, most of them, when they come back, there's nothing there for them. Then you can better, if you're in there, make sure that the educational system is perfectly, that you don't have to give a pencil case.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to give this false hope, it's sad, because when the child come back, it's waiting to see that you did something for them. If you were a regular businessman, you give out, it's something else. But no, you're a politician. And you're a politician, at the end of the day, they're looking forward for you for making their lives better when the time reach for them to come into the job world.
So then they're like disappointed when they come
Yes,
back.
very disappointed.
Yeah.
And then it comes down, is it hypocrisy then? It's bottom line, that is it just to get a vote? And I'm not into that. If we're going to work hard for St. Martin, let's make sure that St. Martin tomorrow looks great. At the end of the day, if everyone have a great life, all of us is happy in St. Martin. We have never seen crime like this while we're growing up.
Right.
And it comes from, people are so busy, don't have nothing to do. They only sit down on blocks and so and talking how they can make a living, and they think on wrong things. So we have to go out there, make sure we create jobs, as I said during my campaign, jobs, jobs, jobs. That's what we got to focus on. And once we create jobs for the youth, they will be happy that we give them opportunity in life. And that's our job to do as politicians when we be elected, nothing else. We have to make a better life for the people of St. Martin.
Well, MP Matsu, I want to thank you for coming in. I want to wish you much success in your career. And we have 20 seconds remaining, closing.
Well, I would just like to say, people of St. Martin, you might not know me, but I only have one thing. I'm for the people. I will be for the people, and I'll do my best to do everything for the people, and the choice will be for yours when the time come again to vote for me, yes or no.
All right, so thank you again, Ms. MP Matsu, and hope we can have you back sometime in the future.
Sure, anytime, Harold.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thank you again for coming.
Okay, bye-bye.
And that's it for now. See you next time. Until then, good night. Take care. Bye.